Smackaroo, check this story out. We got right here. Yeah. I guess this is another. I didn't know the original one. Georgia police chief jail in Florida after prostitution ring. Yeah. Georgia chief jail in Florida for a prostitution ring. Check it out. Here we go. Turn it up a little bit. This is crazy.
This is an update. Remember the chief?
Never heard of the original
police
story.
Out of the state of Georgia went to Florida in order to obtain, let's just say, an extra relationship.
Yeah, hooker.
He was caught, arrested. Put up the picture for him, ass.
Here it is.
Just a reminder, slight update. Deputy Chief of Police Jason D. Prima of
Jason D. Prima
Georgia was charged with soliciting a prostitute. That's a misdemeanor, according to a news release from the Polk County Sheriff's Office. The deputy chief ended up in a Florida jail after he was accused of agreeing to pay a prostitute $120 for half an hour for her services, but the, quote, high-class prostitute was actually an undercover detective.
Oh!
The deputy chief was arrested at 11 p.m. September 1. DePrima 49 is a deputy chief of police administration for Cartersville Police Department and was in Orlando for the American Polygraph Association seminar workshop. The irony that the guy was there to learn about lies and lie detectors. The sheriff's office gave that information. Cartersville is about 45 minutes northwest of downtown Atlanta. On August 31st, 2022, the deputy chief responded to an online escort. This was an advertisement, and began a conversation with an undercover detective. Now, he believes he's talking to an actual prostitute. The undercover detective, he said, he asked, "Are you available tonight? And I'd like to come see you. What is your rate?" The sheriff's office reported. Now, I got to say this. According to the documentation, the man never argued about the rate. He went there immediately, and he showed up on time. There's more. During the online communication, the deputy chief agreed to engage in sexual activities in writing with the undercover detective, but then told the detective, quote, "I got spooked."
Oh, sure he did.
And asked to see her the next night.
Yeah, okay.
The chief contacted the undercover detective again the next day and agreed to meeting according to the officials. Now, let's put up the sheriff who said, "Not in my county, sir."
Oh, bingo.
There he is.
There he is.
Grady Judd is his name.
Grady Judd.
So Sheriff Judd has something to say at a news conference. The sheriff noted that the deputy chief had been with the Cartersville Police Department almost 30 years. Information that was not produced initially and was considered, quote, a well-respected police officer in town.
Yeah, sure.
End quote. The deputy chief had arrived at the, had arrived carrying 2 Bud Lights and an unmarked government vehicle attached to the Cartersville DEA task force, Judge said. So, ostensibly, this guy has come to have sex with a prostitute while driving the police department undercover vehicle, and he was in possession of alcohol.
Oh, my goodness.
According to the sheriff. Now, you got to think about how deep that goes. He literally came from basically Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
Drove through all of Georgia in a government vehicle.
Yeah.
In order to meet with an escort for the purposes of sex. The arrest came during a week-long human trafficking undercover enforcement operation conducted by the sheriff's office and other law enforcement agencies. The purpose of the operation was to identify those involved in human trafficking and arrest those who procure and engage in prostitution, according to the sheriff's office. So, listen. What 2 adults do in their personal lives, not my business. 2 consenting adults, I don't care. All right? Let me make that 100. Let's go to the...
Yeah. You know, that's the thing about, you know, I don't give 2 shits about what 2 lovers do behind the bedroom, with if they're S&M, B&D, you know, kinky, all that shit. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, when it comes to this, yeah, it's crazy.
actual dynamic of what has happened with this deputy chief.
Okay.
Did you see that the operation was only 1 week long? It was only a 1 week operation.
Oh, week long? Wow.
1 week. And in that 1 week, they were able to catch the deputy chief in this activity, which means to me, more than likely, the chief is, well, let's just say, habitual offender.
Yep.
And let's take it beyond the moment of arrest for the deputy chief. He's in charge of important things, yes, but he's also in charge of enforcing the law. You see, individuals who decide to engage in a particular profession and then act in a way that's antithetical to that profession are, in fact, corrupt. There is no linear logic or dynamic integrity. And if you're willing to do that, you're willing to do more.
Oh, yes.
These are the reasons that this is important.
And you know for a second, if he's willing to meet this, this so-called escort, prostitute, if it wasn't that, he would have probably more likely trying to engage in conversation with an underage minor girl like that. Yes, and we have done stories about cops that have engaged, solicited the underage girls. Even some, we did stories about last spring about cops that kidnap and rape teenager girls. That's right. Yeah. Habitual offenders is right.
All right. Dear brother, thoughts here?
Take it.
$500 bond. That's about 2
$500
hours per
bond?
that undercover detective's rate. So there's that. When I was reading this article, there was two things that just automatically came to mind. One, was he placed on paid administrative leave?
Good point.
And two, will he find a police officer role or position or job in the future? And I think we both know the answer to that.
There it is, right there. And we know there are a lot of times when a police officer gets fired and loses that qualified immunity, 9 out of 10 times he'll get hired in another jurisdiction, because a lot of times these police agencies, they don't do their background check.
Of course he will.
Yeah,
I don't know how he will be able to do these things, but that's the injustice of all of this. But you nailed it. If they only had this thing for 1 week, what could we imagine possibly happen if they did so for like a month?
Yeah.
Or 2 months as well. I mean, the fact they did this for a week and they got this this Georgia police chief, wow, man. How many police officers, if they were to do this thing for a month or 2 months? I mentioned quite a few, And it's a good thing they did this thing. They should have roll it longer. Get more of these fucking sicko creeps and these fucking disgusting sex offender cops out of the street. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I'm out here. My job. Peace out.